Hey everyone, so this is my review of Supergirl Season 3, Episode 9, called Rain, and essentially what this episode is about is that Supergirl discovers this mysterious sort of past around this Kryptonian, and discovers like this very dark sort of like past about Krypton itself. And with that, she encounters this symbol that represents the world killer Rain. And this was a really, really great and entertaining episode that was just so much fun and just a really, really great mid-season finale episode. And I did really enjoy all the moments that they did have sort of introducing the Legion of Superheroes a bit more. Even though they didn't introduce any of the new characters, they did do a bit more of like explaining what the Legion does and like how they were founded and stuff. And yet again, I'm gonna say I'm not that familiar with the Legion of Superhero and like their whole storyline and stuff like that. But it was interesting with how they decided to go about it in this, where they decided to say like it was founded by Mon-El and not by Superman like it is in the comic books. So that was a very interesting difference. And I'm very curious to know if they will have the rings and stuff, because in the past episodes they already have had like a cameo thing of Superman having a Legion ring. So I'm very interested to see how that might all interconnect and if they are going to actually have a connection where it explains why Superman has a ring or something if he's not the founder. And just that I'm very interested to see what all they're going to do with the Legion going forward. And I'm very happy that they did have some moments with Kara talking to both Mon-El and Alara, like in separate points about her feelings about what's going on and stuff, even though she didn't like really say that, yes, I'm terribly disappointed that this is a thing. She did sort of show that she is trying to accept it as being a reality, and that was just interesting to see how that was sort of taken from all ends. But with like some of the things that Alara did say in this episode and stuff, I'm very more into the theory that a lot of people have, which is that Alara is using her mind control powers on Mon-El and stuff. Because the fact of when she brought up how Mon-El like was doing all this different stuff to try and find a way back to Kara and find a way back to the timeline that she's in and not being in the 31st century and stuff like that. And then she's like, and then he just stopped. And that's just kind of odd that that happened. So I'm very interested to see if the theory is true that Alara's mind controlling Mon-El. And if that is true, I'm very interested to see how all that storyline will play out. Then the whole Christmas party and stuff like that was just a fun little moment to sort of have all like the sort of main characters together. And then I'm not a huge fan of the idea of Lena and Jimmy being in a relationship together, but I'm very interested to see where it will all go, and maybe as it goes forward more I might be able to accept it a bit more. So I'm still very open-minded about it, but I'm not a huge fan of the idea of it. Then everything with Rain in this episode was really, really amazing, with Kara sort of slowly figuring out the truth of what's actually going on and her sort of having to have this encounter with the guy in a previous episode and him sort of explaining more and more about how he discovered the idea of rain and all this different stuff, and that was just really interesting, with it sort of bringing back the ideas of Fort Ross and stuff like that, and the fact that there are still prisoners from Fort Ross free in the world and stuff like that. And I'm just interested to see how all that might play out in the future, if they ever will bring any more prisoners of Fort Ross back. Just that whole final fight scene between Rain and Kara was so amazingly well done and stuff, and I really loved the moment before it when Alex sort of made the comment of this like sort of stuff that she's like, I've been trying to get you to be more human and stuff again, but in this moment, turn that off. And that was just amazing to see her have that sort of spark of a moment where Kara's like, yeah, I can't be friendly anymore. And just watching that whole fight scene and watching like Kara actually have someone that she can compete against and stuff like that, that was just so interesting to see. And just how this episode ended, I'm very interested to see where they're going to take the story going forward, with it looking like Kara's going to be out for at least an episode. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe the Legion sort of steps up to fight against Reign or Martian Manhunter, or what they're going to do to sort of fend off Reign until Kara can recover. And they can kind of figure out what they need to do to be able to defeat Reign. And I'm not a huge fan of Reign's look. I am very happy that they did sort of give her an almost more human look than the classic look that she has in the comics. But still, it is a very sort of weird look that I'm not a huge fan of. The mask in particular is just really kind of weird looking. But it is, like I said, a very much more suitable outfit than her original look in the comics. Because it does give her an almost human sort of element to her. And just, yeah, that's all I have to say, because overall this was a really, really amazing mid-season finale, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to do with the story when it comes back in January. And just, yeah. So that was my review on Supergirl Season 3, Episode 9, called Reign. So, yeah.